Hi, it's Troy Downing. It's Memorial Day, and I like to spend Memorial Day reflecting on the sacrifices made by so many to protect this great nation. And my thoughts are with the survivors, with their families. And we really do stand on the shoulders of giants, on those who have given everything for this nation. One of the things I like to do is make sure that I keep the names alive, the memories alive, and honor those. And I'm going to share a couple of stories to help do that. And I went into the service. I enlisted at a fairly old age. I was 34 years old, and met a lot of great people along the way. And the first time I lost somebody that I didn't serve with, but I trained with, went to school with, was Jesse Samick. And I met him at the schoolhouse at Kirtland Air Force Base in Albuquerque. Very young, great guy. And shortly after graduation, he was deployed, and he was killed in a helicopter crash in Afghanistan. And this was within a year of his first deployment. He was in his early 20s, and just a tragic loss. And my first deployment to Afghanistan, there was a part of Kandahar that was named after him, Camp Samick, and I thought that was an amazing honor. And behind me, you probably can't see it, but I have a desk where I tie flies, and there's a picture, a graduation picture, of my entire class sitting on top of a helicopter, including Jesse, and I reflect upon that often, and I'm honored to have known him, saddened by the sacrifice, so happy that there are people willing to give everything to support this nation. And I think many of us understand that there are things that are bigger than us and more important than us, and I'm just so happy and honored that there are people that have touched my lives that way. Second thing that stands in my mind is the first time I was in a ramp ceremony, and this was 2005, Kandahar Air Force Base. And I remember distinctly marching out in formation on the ramp. It was hot, it was sunny. I was facing the sun and watching the caskets get loaded into a C-17, and my eyes stung. There were tears running down my face. It was hard to stand at attention and witness this, knowing the sacrifices made, knowing that these brothers in arms were, taking their final trip home. And it really hits you in the chest at what people are willing to do for the greater good and the sacrifices made. And I hope that we all continue to honor those memories. Another time that stands in my head is, I think this was 2007. I was on a mission. We were supporting an Army infill. They were sending 3 Chinook helicopters into Afghanistan, dropping off some Special Forces troops, and we were support. So we were maybe a 5-minute flight away on the ground when this mission was happening. And I remember when the mission first started, it was about 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning, and we're in the helicopters, rotors turning, listening to everything over the SATCOM, because our Tactical Operations Center in Kandahar was monitoring the situation. And the 3 helicopters went, they dropped off the troops, and Chalk 3 took an RPG up the back and got shot down. And I remember this so clearly. Our co-pilot was really upset and scared, which is natural human reaction. And we're waiting to get called in, and the on-scene commander was not sure it was safe enough to send us in. And we're listening to the SATCOM chatter from the talk about small arms fire, about everything that was happening on scene as they were trying to get ready to bring us in. And co-pilot's just rocking in his chair and he's mumbling and he's clearly afraid, and that's all going out over the intercom. And so we can hear it, the PJs can hear it, everybody can hear it. And I'm like, you need to stop. You need to calm down, head in the game. I remember just thinking at the time, just head in the game, stick to your tactics. We got a crew of 5. Luckily, the troops had already exited the aircraft, but there's a crew of 5 on the ground, and our job is to make sure we get them home. And through the night, over the next, I'll say, hour or two, it was never safe enough to send in and risk another helicopter. And finally, the sun was coming up, and we got sent back to Kandahar. And there were no survivors. The 5 crew members were killed. And I got back to Kandahar and grabbed a SATCOM, and I couldn't say what was happening, but I called my wife. Just wanted to hear her voice. And I remember Kandahar got attacked, and the sirens are going, and you could hear the explosions on the other side of the HESCO barriers. And my wife is panicking because she has no idea what's going on, and I was just beat. And then I remember sending those 5 crew members again home in flag draped caskets. And the point that I want to make here is the people that have made these sacrifices, let's honor them. Let's remember them. Let's remember these sacrifices. Let's make sure that we keep the faith, that we fight for everything that makes this nation great, and we fight against everything that would tear it down. And let's repeat their names. Let's remember Jesse Samick. Let's remember Scott Bobbitt. Let's remember all the people who have paid the ultimate sacrifice. I never knew him personally, but I think about Nicholas Bloom, who my VFW post was named after, and I see his parents around town, and I reflect upon that sacrifice. So Memorial Day to me is a time to remember, a time to keep those names alive, a time to honor, and a time to reflect on what we can do to continue protecting this great nation and fighting the forces that would tear it down. So I hope you'll join me in honoring everybody who has paid the ultimate sacrifice. God bless them. God bless their families. God bless the United States of America. And let's keep this alive. Thank you.